Thomas here and welcome back to another video. So today I'm back here for another speed build, and today we're going to go ahead and create this mansion called Brindleton Mansion. So if you want to go ahead and download this for yourself, it is up on the gallery now. My origin ID is real Thomas TV1. So I know the name of this build isn't very creative. I mean, I think this just happens for a lot of us who do speed builds, is that, you know, you can go on a streak of having really good build names and then all of a sudden there's just like no build names left in the world. So that's what's kind of happening today. But you know, it's still actually, well, to be honest, it's probably one of my favourite mansion builds that I've done so far. And well, I'll explain a little bit more why in a second, but if you don't know, I actually do speed builds, well, mansion builds here on my channel every single Sunday. So every single Sunday you'll see a 64x64 lot mansion build, and then on my other upload days, which are Monday, Friday, I'm a mess today. Monday, Friday and Saturday, there we go, my other upload days, I just do, you know, generic speed builds, whatever I want to do, nothing really, you know, set in stone for a theme or anything. But yeah, so like I said, this is probably one of my favourite mansion builds I've done so far, and I think it's just because I put so much extra effort into it, because I think the reason why I was able to do that was because I started it much earlier in the week. Now, what actually happens is, what ends up happening, I always plan on starting the mansion build for that Sunday earlier in the week, so I have, you know, loads of time to focus on it, and I don't have to kind of, you know, rush it all in the last, you know, couple of hours before it goes up or whatever like that. And I always end up kind of starting it really early, and then I'll kind of not do anything until the day before it needs to go up. So it's kind of just no point of starting it really early. But I actually started this build like on the day that last week's mansion build went up. So last Sunday, which was, let's see what date that was, the 8th. So I started this build on the 8th, and I just did that because I was just in the mood to build something. I don't know why, I just was, and that kind of just happens all the time, really. Sometimes I'm in the mood to build, then sometimes I just don't really want to build that day, and that just happens all the time. I think that happens for most of us anyway. So I was in one of those moods just to build, and this is what I came up with. And because I started so early, I just really wanted to kind of, you know, just spend my time on it. There was no point of me having to finish all on that day when I've still got a week before it goes up, you know. So I spent lots of extra time on little details and things like that. Now, an example of that would be shelves and putting clutter on those, and that sounds so stupid because that's such a simple thing to put in builds. But for me, if I'm doing like these mansion builds every single week, having to spend, you know, putting those little extra details in here and there kind of adds so much time onto the building time, and I don't really have that much time to do that. But you know, I do try to add extra detail and put as much, you know, effort into the other things that I'm doing. But you know, so it's really nice to actually do that today. Sorry, my voice is going already. Wow, 2 minutes in. So yeah, it was really nice to do that actually, and this took me about 3 hours, I would say, in total. But I did get about like 2 hours and 15 minutes of footage, but it was like, you know, that extra 45 oh my god, my voice is going again. Sorry. The extra 45 minutes was spent doing those things that I always mention that I do off screen, such as the bathrooms and doing all the terrain paints, as you can see we've done right here. So I do all the terrain paints off screen because that kind of just allows me to map out things when I'm going into the landscaping, so I know what I'm going to do. I don't do that every single time, by the way, it's just a lot of the time that I'll do that. And then I do the bathrooms off screen because I feel like they're such a boring room that I just don't really have that many different ideas I can do every single time. So what I normally do is just make the bathrooms all the same or very similar and just do it that way. Now, I do it that way just because it kind of just saves time a little bit in the actual speed build video, and you know, it's not really that important of a room. I mean, it is important, but I mean, if it's a mansion build like this, so they can have so many bathrooms, it's like, it's not really that necessary. They're not going to spend that much time in all of them. This particular build doesn't actually have that many bedrooms and bathrooms compared to other mansion builds I've done. So in particular, this build has, it's either 7 bedrooms and 6 bathrooms, or 6 bedrooms and 7 bathrooms. I can't remember which way around it is, but you can go on the gallery and check that out for yourself. And actually, speaking of the gallery, something really exciting happened today. So it's currently the 11th of April that I'm recording this on, and earlier today I got my first favourite from Maxis on the gallery, which has never happened before. And you know, I upload all the time and I've always wanted that to happen one day, and I'm so excited that it's finally happened. So yeah, that's really exciting. It actually happened on the Ivy Cottage build, which the speed build video went up for a few days ago. Well, last week, no, hang on, I can't remember which day it was. Let's see. It must be Monday, so what day is that? I can't think. The 9th. So I think that's when that video went up, if I'm not mistaken. So anyway, yes, that's the build that got favorited, and it was so exciting because I've just never really expected it. And it was actually whilst I was recording this build that happened, because I started getting loads of like notifications in the top right. You know how you get that for the gallery, like those little green notifications. While I was building, I started getting loads of those, and I was like, what's happening here? And it's actually, I was getting some which is saying this person commented on your build, which is, I don't know why, I don't know about you, but like if I see like a notification like that saying somebody's commented, I always want to look at it straight away. I don't know what it is. I mean, I would ignore the, well, not ignore, but I was kind of like, if I would still continue if it was like it said this person, you know, favorited or downloaded your lot or something. I'll just like keep going. But I saw the favorite, so I was like, okay, let's have a look at this. And I looked down and it had like 30 comments. I was like, wow, that's kind of went up very quickly, because, you know, I don't know for you, but for me at least, comments on the gallery are a rarity. Like, I just don't get that many, which I'm not too bothered about. It's just a observation that I made, I suppose. Anyway, so yeah, that happened, and I was looking down, and then I saw somebody just say in the capital letters, Maxis. And I was like, oh my god, did I really just get a Max's favourite? But it's funny because, you know, the other day I was just thinking that, wow, I really like, I was just thinking about Max's favourites, and I was like, I hope I can get one sometime. And then the next day it happens, which is totally random. But yeah, I don't think it'll happen again, or at least for a very long time, so I'm excited for that. And I'll actually tell you later in the build, once we get onto the point where I saw this bit. I cut it out the footage, but I'll tell you. Don't worry. Anyway, so this room right here is kind of just like another sort of sitting room. I wasn't really too sure what to class this room as. Originally, it was going to be the living room, but we'll have like another part of the house, which was just a little bit more bigger, and I kind of just felt like doing the living room there. So that's what we did, and I don't know if I've done the living room. No, I think we're going on to that next, actually. But this one's kind of just like a secondary living room. I suppose a little bit more formal, actually, because it doesn't have a TV. It's just like a fireplace. So I suppose that's, you know, a little bit more of a formal room. And I did a lot of those kind of like octagonal rooms, which I don't do too often, actually, but I did a few of them in today's build. So we'll see them in a few of the rooms there, like that one we're just working on. It's just, I think for most of them, I turned them into just like a little sitting area, which is a nice room, and I didn't put curtains up for most of those, actually. And that's just because it was like a sort of like a modern addition to the build, I would say, because I really actually liked how that looked, because all of the build was very kind of traditional when you look at it, but then there was those little octagonal rooms like every, you know, on some bits of the build, and it kind of looked nice because it's like a little extension that's been added on, like a newer thing to an older build, which I really like the idea of, and I do that a lot, actually. Well, not that sort of thing with putting those octagonal rooms in that mindset, but I do in terms of having a very traditional exterior, and then on the interior it's all very updated, which I think is a really nice idea to do. So it's kind of like that idea. So there's a lot of modern windows, as you can see there in that on the right hand corner there, with that octagonal wall. Well, it's not really octagonal, but you know what I mean. So yeah, as you can see, we've got those kind of like full wall length windows. So I didn't put any curtains up on those, just because I feel it's very modern, and it's kind of like, I don't know why, curtains just didn't really fit very well to how that looked, I don't think. It's really hard to explain, and another reason is that because most of the curtains don't even fit with that, which is really annoying. And another thing I was noticing is that we don't really have a lot of medium wall height windows. I don't know what it is, but I always find myself using the same medium wall height windows for every single build. It's always those ones with the shutters on and stuff. There's a few base game ones which I always find myself using, so I hope we can get some more, because I really like the ones that we got from Cats and Dogs, which we are using on this level here, which is actually medium wall height, but I'm using the Cats and Dogs windows, which are designed for a small wall height, but they still actually work just fine. But I was really hoping I could maybe get some more of those in an upcoming pack or something. That'd be really exciting. And yeah, so EA Play is coming up soon as well. Speaking of new packs, now presume they'll be announcing something. I don't know what it's going to be. I know everybody's hoping for seasons, but, you know, just any, you know what, it's funny because a little while ago I would be like very kind of like, okay, I hope I get this next, I hope I get this next, but then now I'm just at a point where I'm like, not because I'm unhappy with the game or anything, I'm just like very excited for anything that we're getting in game. It's like really ridiculous, because it might not be the most exciting thing, but it's still an addition to the game, so I'm grateful for that. And that's kind of what I just think about things now. You know, not the fitness stuff, but I think it's because I'm looking at the gym, that's why it made me think of that. what I was meant to say was my first pet stuff pack. I know it's not the most exciting game, I don't really use it that often, but it's still an addition to the game, so, you know, I'm still happy with it. But I'm not going to go into that. If you want to know more about my thoughts about that, then you can go ahead and check out the My First Pet Stuff videos. There should be a playlist up for it, actually. And I also went into a very detailed discussion with it with Spring Sims, because we did a collab, because we both got early access to that pack, so we did a collab with the pack, and we kind of just, you know, had to talk about our thoughts on it, because we did our voiceovers together, which we actually do quite a lot, because we've actually done quite a few collabs. I think we're doing like 7 or 8 collabs now, which is ridiculous. But recently we've been doing the voiceovers together, like just on a Discord call, and then, you know, recording together, which is actually a nice idea. It's not something I do too often for, well, it's the only person I've done that with, you know, just because I had a little bit of extra time, but don't do it for every single collab, but, you know, just have to see. So right now we're working on this room. Now this is actually going to be one of the kids' rooms, and I kind of just went into it and didn't think that this was going to be a kids' room, so I just started building a regular room. As you can see, just I think it's at just that point there when I was rotating the camera around, I realised that, oh, that was supposed to be the kids' room, because I did like a pink and a blue room just to kind of, you know, make it boys and a girls' room. Of course, that doesn't have to be that. It's just a generic thing for the speed build, and then once you download it, you can adjust it how you want. But yeah, so I did that, and I think that's probably because the room was so big, it didn't cross my mind that that was supposed to be a kid's room. So it's actually only one kid's room, which is this one that we're working on right now. But you know what, it's fine, because I don't do kids' rooms that often in my builds, as you probably know. Just because I feel like having a kid's room like this is all very fun and colourful and stuff, and then the exterior of the build can be very traditional and kind of upscale, expensive sort of look, and then having a really fun kids' room inside just doesn't really fit the theme for me for some reason, just doesn't look right. But you know, it's alright. I think it adds a lot of practicality to the builds, but, you know, just for the theme of it, I don't like to add them in, but for this one I did do that. And this room right here, kind of just going on to that theme about colourful rooms, I did an orange room, which is something that I don't think I've done in a very long time, or at all really, actually. But it looked really nice, so I did that for a little bit of a change, because I've noticed that the colour schemes out that all these builds that I've done recently are all very bright colours, all very neutral colours or pale colours, not very anything that's very on the dark side of colours or very colourful or anything. So, you know, it was just a nice change, I suppose. And yeah, so right now we're just working on another one of these bedrooms. All these bedrooms really don't really have a specific theme to them. They're just a different sort of coloured wall, and I kind of just base the furniture colours around that, really. It's not really for a specific type of sim. So, you know, I do actually have like, I do sometimes plan out where the master bedroom's going to be, and you'll see that a little bit later. I think that's the second last bedroom that we'll work on, is the master one. And yeah, so but right now this little room is just like another little seating room. I don't even know what you call it. It's just a random room, really, and this leads out onto the balcony, which I actually haven't done a balcony in such a long time, really, for a speed build, so it's kind of nice to do that today. And yeah, so let me know what you think about the build so far. I'm really, really happy with it. It's like I mentioned, it's probably one of my favourite builds. Like I just, you know, at the start I mentioned, it's just because I put so much extra effort into it and just didn't rush it. I meant it took a little bit of extra time, but you know what, it's fine. And also, speaking of like times and builds and stuff, I'm actually thinking about doing another attempt at the 10-minute build challenge, because it has been quite some time since I did my last attempt at that. Well, my only attempt at it. And you know, it was a really fun challenge, but I think back then I wasn't as developed in terms of my building skills. But now that I do these speed builds all the time, I can do one of these mansion builds in about 2 hours. You know, that's not a long time at all. So I'm thinking that maybe if I do another 10-minute build challenge, I can maybe come up with something a lot bigger and more well decorated and stuff like that than I did in my first attempt. So let me know if you want to see a 10-minute build challenge 2.0, and that'll be really exciting, because that's what I'm going to plan to do probably in the next couple of weeks, if you all are keen on that idea. So this is the master bedroom right here, actually. I was actually going to have the bathroom that's right next to it have a door in the bedroom leading to that, if that makes sense, like an ensuite sort of thing, but the door actually ended up being outside, which I didn't plan on. It was just a mistake, really. But you know what, it's alright. It just meant I had more room to furnish, I suppose, because the door wasn't there, so that's what happened. So what's something I was just about to mention? I can't think what it was. No, it's gone. But there was something else I was going to mention. Is that actually, this wasn't the thing I was thinking of, but tomorrow I'm actually picking up my car, which I'm really excited about. So today's currently the 11th, like I said, so tomorrow on the 12th, tomorrow morning, I'm going to pick up my car, which is a 2018 Nissan Micra. And I've mentioned it before, and I actually did a poll on Twitter, because I was leaning towards the colour of grey, but I was also kind of liking the white and the red colour as well. So I did a poll on Twitter just to get some opinions, and grey won, so I went ahead and got that one. Of course, not just purely based on what other people thought, but it was also the colour that I liked the most as well. But yeah, so that's what we went for. And it actually has like a very dark blue colour to it, like a navy tint to it, which actually looks really nice. I wasn't expecting it actually, but when I saw it in person, I was like, oh, that's a little bit different, but I actually really like it. So yeah, that'll be, I'll probably post it to Twitter. Why do I always say that? When I mention about posting a photo on Twitter, I always say I'll post to Twitter. I don't know why. I'll post a photo on Twitter, there we go. Well, it would have been passed by the time you see this video if everything goes well, so yeah. Anyway, so right now we're just working on this room, which is actually the last room of the build, and this people went over pretty quickly actually, but that's just because, I mean, I do like to cut out little bits of the video which are a little bit boring, just so I can kind of show you the highlights and the video doesn't go on for like half an hour long, you know. So yeah, that's it for today's build. I really hope you enjoyed. In the comments section down below, let me know about what you thought of it, and if there's any other mansion builds or themes of mansions or build ideas, video ideas, anything you want to see next, then let me know. And also another thing I want to mention is that I've also made a playlist for all the mansion builds. It also goes up in the builds playlist as well, but I've made a separate playlist all for the mansions that I do on Sundays, so you can see those in particular if that's something you're really interested in. And yeah, so thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a like, comment, share and subscribe if you haven't, and go ahead and download this from the Sims 4 gallery. My origin ID is real, Thomas TV1, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.